welcome to the Mid-South Sports Report podcast. Joining me tonight will be Michael Redding and Matt Orsini. Hello, fellas.
What's up?
Hello, Eddie.
So, how was the week so far?
Been good for me, I guess.
Light storm
It's
somewhere, Michael.
Yeah, they haven't passed through though.
Passed
Think
through.
we'll be all right.
Took a week off. We had little Matt take a little fall on us, but he's getting a little healed up for us and stuff. So, uh, but we're gonna jump right in. Got to ask you, Matt. Low man on the totem pole.
it was ugly. It was ugly.
Yep, low man on
It
the totem
was.
pole. You took Christopher Bale, correct?
I did.
That's
I
what.
did. I had Bell, and well, I mean, he ran out of talent, and Bowman lost fourth gear, and who else did I have? Oh, I had Bubba Wallace, and he was running good until he blew a tire with like 20 to go, and had to pit under green, and
That was because
yeah,
Ricky Stenhouse on that one.
yeah. Well, it was just kind of like a, you know what? It was just, it was, yeah. Just it was a bad week. Now, punishment wise, I think the boys said I get a little bit of a pass
You get a
because
little.
I'm under.
We're gonna
I'm,
give you a
I'm
little bit of break because you're what you're going through and stuff. So we'll give you a little bit of break. But if you fall under the threshold next week, you can't get a pass.
I know, and then I'm gonna have to figure out what I'm gonna do. I don't know. I mean, God, I mean, it's, that Aiden Bush guy. I don't know. He's a pretty good guy.
Oh Lord, Michael, anything new with you this week?
No, nothing new for me.
Yeah, hey, same here. Ain't nothing new with me. Uh, we'll jump in. We took NASCAR had a week off. I kind of liked the little week off a little bit. They're about to go on a 15-week stretch. Matt, what do you think on that 15-week stretch? Is that going to be? It's going to be exhausting for them, right?
It is going to separate the men from the boys. That's just what's going to happen. We're going to get that separation in the group because now it's going to be who's ready to hit the season hard now, because now she's the grind.
Yeah, I agree.
15 weeks. Next break will be end of July for the Olympics. Is the next week, so it's gonna be 15 non-straight weeks. So, uh, like you said, I do think that we're gonna see the men from the boys, and I think you'll start seeing Kevin Harvick probably come alive. You should see, Denny Hamlin. I'm gonna tell you something. He's on fire. He's finished top 10 every race, so he's on fire. So Bristol, Michael, I
Yeah,
will start. We'll start with you. What was your thoughts on Bristol Dirt? All right. Let's take it.
I
What was your expectations and what did it come up with on your thoughts on it? Did you think it was going to be worse than it was, or
I thought it was going to be better than it was. As far as we're talking about the dirt modifieds and late models, or are we talking NASCAR? Before I
we're talking NASCAR?
NASCAR.
NASCAR, it was better than I thought it was going to be.
I
I,
thought so. What did you think about Matt?
You know, it it put on a decent show, I thought, until about 100 to go. Because once it got to 100 to go, they had those restarts, and it was exactly what Michael and I feared was going to happen. It was like those guys made a half a lap, and it was a dust bowl, and they couldn't see. And then there was wrecks, and then they had to go to single file, and it was just kind of like, you know what? I think it was a good first attempt, and I mean they had a pretty big mountain hill to climb. I mean they had to run, what was it, 150 laps with the trucks.
Yep.
and the 250 lap Bristol Cup race on the same day. That's hard on any dirt track, and that's just, it was an uphill climb. I really think it was. They did okay with what they had, but they're going to have to do something better with the dust control, whether it's using a different dirt or whatever.
I think that, I'll be honest with you, I thought that race was in jeopardy of being canceled. I really did, because of the flooding was bad down there.
Mm-hmm. It was.
They put, I'm not going to say Bristol done it, but there was a lot of people, if they didn't make a move and pull them out, there was a lot of campers getting flooded. There was hospitality tents getting flooded. Kenny Wallace was, you could say he was the main reporter down there on the flooding control down there, and some of his videos was just shocking to see, right? So, I think it was an all right race. I did think it got a little dustier. They got to have it at night, right? It's got to be a night show, 100%. Quit. This is not a daytime show; it's a nighttime show.
And I did hear a few guys talking about that they figured that the race needs to go to night next year to help with try to keep some more moisture in the track.
Ty B said they better leave dirt to Ty B. Well, if Tyler, you still on here, you gonna run Bristol next year. We got to know, are you running Bristol next year? They're bringing it back. And John Fowler, yeah. That'll bring us to our next.
I like this. I like this other comment a little higher up. He says, "Hey guys, I missed the race. Who won the dirt race?" Whoa, gee, I don't know.
Jeez, I don't know.
Don't have a clue.
Don't worry, John. They don't want to say the name. That's all right.
Joey Logano, surprise winner, right? Tyler said he'll run it again if he's invited back. Most definitely. I think that you gained a lot of exposure, for one, for iRacing, and two, I'd like to see you run it again. I think, and Michael already hit on it, and if we can get the Prime Minister up there in Canada to release Mr. Matt to come across the border, I think that'll be a show that us three will be going to next year. I think 100%. I think a week-long trip down there would be blast. I don't think I'll make the Cup race, but I think I'll go down and watch the local stuff. But back to it, Joey Logano, surprise winner. I mean, he's got modified experience. Is that a surprise winner?
I think so. I didn't see it coming.
Well,
and I'm a big Joey Logano fan.
Penske fan,
and I don't know, boys, you can agree or disagree on this, but the thing that surprised me a lot about the Bristol dirt race is it wasn't the dirt guys that were being successful. It was the pavement guys that were being more successful. The dirt guys had a nightmare of a day. I mean, when is the last time you seen Christopher Bell spin out basically in front of the field on dirt?
Yeah. Dirt guys really, the dirt guys really struggled early in the race, right?
Mm-hmm.
You had Larson Bell got Larson involved. I don't think Larson would have got involved if he was running he was running the top. He's trying to get the top in, and that failed miserably. He was coming. Don't get me wrong. He come from last to sixth in 50 laps.
Pretty quick. Yeah, pretty quick.
Yeah, he came pretty quick. Yeah.
Yeah. So I really think that it turned into basically an asphalt track at the end of it, right?
Pretty much.
So
it did. It did what I thought it would do at the end.
Yep. Well, and the biggest comment that all the drivers said at the end of the race is that, well, the old Bristol's back.
Pretty much. That's the way it was. The way it looked.
That's what they said. It was like driving the old Bristol. Basically, you had to root the guy out of the bottom lane to pass him.
So to make it better, what do you think that they need to do to make it better? They're running it again to make it better. One, I think, in my opinion, I think they need to run at night. I don't know about the stage breaks, right? I don't think I like that, because you don't run local shows. Don't stop in the middle of the race and fix the track. I mean, I'm sure it made the racing better, but I don't think local shows stop in the middle of a feature and say, okay, we're going to redo the track.
Now, this did happen one time at Batesville in the Topless 100. They ran 50 laps, and at that intermission, they went out there and completely regraded the track, watered it,
Refarmed it,
repacked
and
it.
everything.
Yes, completely redid the track, worked it, packed it back
Hmm.
in, and they had to kind of rush it because the storm was coming. And I think they ran like 15 laps, and then the bottom fell out, and everybody was wrecking. But it really didn't. It really didn't change the outcome of what the race was already going to be. It basically the same race was being ran that was run before the track was reformed.
Well, let's be honest, boys. Number one, you can't run 400 laps on a dirt track in one day with those big, heavy cars and trucks.
No.
You know, that right off the bat put NASCAR under a real, that was trouble. Totally agree with you, Willie. It needs to be at night, not the day, because that's going to help the track retain some moisture, going to keep the dust down. I think possibly they need to look at getting a different type of clay versus that clay that they were using, because that stuff seems to be.
That's going to be out the question. We already that's out of the question because they already announced that they're going to take that shirt or that dirt out and put it on the grounds at Bristol and then reuse it for next time.
Well, they may learn something new when they go to Knoxville.
Well, I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, you're a dirt guy. What kind of dirt? What's the difference between dirt in Knoxville and dirt and Tennessee?
Because that in Knoxville is like a black gumbo type dirt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where Tennessee's got the red clay.
The Tennessee's got that red clay, and it's that real sandy stuff. And the problem is when that real sandy stuff dries up, that's what really kicks up the dust, because you're getting all that sand, and it's almost like you're getting dust and sand in a mix, right?
Well, I mean, you can't with them running the windshields, and we all agree they need to take the windshields out. I doubt that'll ever happen because that is the type of car that they run. But logistically, could they go get that black dirt from Iowa and bring it down? Or
no.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, they're kind of in a box with the red clay.
Well, I mean, the one thing that's come up, and I mean, you've got it there in the description, is that there's already been talk from the teams and some of the drivers that they're thinking that the Gen 7 car is not going to be a good fit on the dirt, and they would rather just keep to run the Gen 6. And I'm like, well, you know what? If you guys are going to continue to run the Gen 6 car, and the only place that we're going to run it is Bristol dirt, all right, boys, if we're going to only run the thing on dirt, let's make it a true dirt car.
I agree.
Get rid of the windshield, protect the electronics, everything like that. Then we can put the track in a starting state that's wetter than it, needs to be with the windshield.
Slick. It's got to be they had to get it a dry slick. So what they had to do, I wasn't there, but what I saw they had to do is they had to get it wet. Then they had to get late models out there to slick it off.
Yeah.
To get it where basically it's a kind
you got to burn
sandy,
it up.
They got to burn that slime
off.
off.
They got to burn it in. Yep.
And that really turns it into an asphalt track. I mean, because you're not getting that full rotation, you're trying to keep it straight, and where you're getting it coming off the corner.
And the other thing is then I see John's got a comment here in the comments and stuff like that. It's got to be less than 250 laps.
I agree.
I think 200 laps would be plenty.
All right, let's take this.
What are the trucks run? 150?
150 laps.
I think the trucks.
That was ideal.
That's what I'm saying. The Cup guys, you want them to run a little bit more. Fine, make it 200.
What about? I would think that the Pocono deal. What about run one feature on Saturday, one feature on Sunday? Run a double header. Kind of invert the field like they do Pocono. Invert your field after 100 laps and run a double show. You're adding a race, but you can't run, like you said, you can't run that 200 laps, right? At 250 laps, the track's gone. And
Well,
attention
I think
span of people these days is crazy.
I think if the trucks hadn't run on it the same day in the morning, I think the track would have held up for 200. I'm
Yeah.
still not sure about the 250, but I think it might have held up for the 200 because the dust really started to get bad after about 150. After about 150, that's when they really started running into the dust problems and stuff like that. So,
What about and I saw this too, North Wilkesboro, and I think me and Michael was talking about it before you came in. Um, what do you think? Tampa World funds the money. Do you think it's a possibility? If you think it'd be a good idea to maybe turn North Wilkesboro into a dirt track? You know, I
For
mean, do you
me,
really?
me personally, I think the track's too big to be a dirt track, but I'm all for anything new.
Yeah.
yeah, I kind of agree with Michael because what is it? It's just under a 3/4 mile, isn't it? It's like
I don't
625 or something.
I don't know what the
Yeah, it's over
distance
half.
is, but
Is it
It's like
over
a
half mile?
yeah, it's over a half mile. It's like a
yeah,
5. I think it's like a 5/8. I think.
Okay, same as Nashville then.
Yeah, I think it's a 5/8. That would be a little big for a dirt track. Like,
it
and the
might
whole
be
thing
like
is, I mean, you know what? If they if it gets track back open and everything like that,
yeah,
I'd be for it.
I'm 100% for them
I'd be
opening the
for it. If
place
that's what
back
they
up.
want to do, then let's do it.
But I don't want to watch NASCAR go to dirt tracks like the ARCA series does. That's entirely too big.
Oh, you talking about DeCoin and Springfield?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm no fan of that.
Well, All right, we're gonna bring in our first guest, Blade Aiken, uh, up and comer kid. He's good head on his shoulders. We're gonna bring him in. We'll talk about his upcoming season. What's going on, Blaine?
Doing good. How about you guys?
Pretty good, man. Wanted to bring you on here. Talk about your 2021 season. This would be your second year in street stocks, right?
Yes, sir. It will be.
Second year. Tell us how you got your start in the race.
Yeah, my dad has been racing for since I was born back in the '90s and stuff, and I mean ever since he brought me along with him to the racing, I've been kind of hooked on it. It's been a good thing for sure.
Yeah. Uh, well, has your dad been a good mentor so far?
What was that?
I says your dad been a good mentor so far?
Oh yeah, for sure. He's taught me a lot about this, and I definitely wouldn't be here without him. He's definitely a good person to have on your side with the racing.
So what tracks are you planning to run this year?
We plan to run our first race is actually next weekend. It's going to be at Anderson, Indiana. We plan on leaving out Friday. Actually, I think they're supposed to have a good amount of cars down there, probably more than 30. So should be a good stop field down there.
Well, uh, so you got your start in quarter midgets. Did you do
Yes,
anything
sir.
after quarter midgets?
Yeah, we ran pro mods down at Nashville, Holland Rim, and Whitesville. It was definitely a good thing to do there because it taught me a lot, and it was my first time in a big car. You could say, you know, I never really been in anything that heavy, and it definitely taught me a lot.
Well, you're in your dad's stomping grounds in what we call old school the Sportsman Series. Uh, so you got to run Nashville. Tell me what was about your experience at Nashville last year.
Oh yeah, it was a cool thing for sure. Nashville's probably one of my favorite tracks. It's definitely one of the wilder tracks. It feels like you're going down the straightaway forever down there. You know, it's definitely a cool thing, a cool track to go to. Probably my favorite, to be honest. But it's cool. It's cool to race at a track my dad used to run at.
Dad's got a lot. Your dad's got some wins there,
Oh yeah, he's got
and
quite a few.
yeah, I wish they would bring sportsmen back to the big track every week and stuff. You gonna try to run Whitesville any this year?
Yeah, we plan to run some of the bigger shows like the Triple 50 and the Fall Brawl. We might make a couple local shows down there, but I mean, I think we're just going to try to run the CRA races and stuff. We're going to try to run most of them, but I don't think we're going to try to make all of them.
Well, man, I appreciate you coming on. Go ahead and throw your sponsors out there, man. Who's getting you to the racetrack every week?
Yeah, I want to thank SP Carburetor, Curb Appeal, Stanford Built Chassis. I'm kind of, I don't really. Well, anyways, I just want to thank everyone that's helped me out this far, and I'm sorry if I forgot any of my sponsors.
No, it's all right. They gonna be on your car and stuff. We hope
Yeah.
to see you in Victory Lane. Anderson, man, that'll be a good show. Have you run there before?
No, sir. This will be my first time. It's gonna be crazy because
That is a crazy track.
It in Anderson where the little 500s at.
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
wow,
That'd
be fun.
That's a fun track and stuff. I think it's gonna be on speed 51. So that'll be a good show to attend. So where are you going after Anderson?
After Anderson, I think our next adventure would probably be Salem, but we don't know if we're going to be able to make the show or not. But if we are, it's definitely going to be Salem, and we plan to run Shady Bowl and stuff after Salem. So,
have you run Salem?
No, sir, I have not yet. But we plan on running the bigger races down there, like the July 4th and races like that, Halloween.
I can tell you right now, I've been to Salem quite a few times, and that track right there, keep your eyes open, because things will. It's like Bristol; it'll come to you in a hurry.
Oh yeah, it's definitely crazy fast track.
Yeah, it's a fast track. A lot of the CRA tracks are fast, and stuff. It's a good series to run at, you know. But man, appreciate you coming on. Good luck in your 2021 season. Hopefully you can get that CRA title.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, man.
Thanks for coming on.
That kid, he's got a good head on his shoulders.
I tell you what, iRacing needs to give us these tracks. Salem, that track, Anderson. I would love to have them on iRacing.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think so. I think I'd like to know the behind who gets to pick what tracks get on iRacing and this and that. I know if of course NASCAR, if NASCAR is going there, they're going to be on there because that's NASCAR's partnered with iRacing. But I think you're right. I really think that we need to see a lot of these more shorter tracks. I mean, I don't know the whole backstory of what it takes to put a track on there. I'm sure it's a lot of work.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But I'm with you. I think we need a lot more tracks on there on the asphalt side and dirt side too. I mean, if you're gonna have World Outlaws partnering with iRacing, every track that World Outlaw goes to, you need to have them on there, right? And they need to run. When you run the big pro tour, it needs to be the tracks that iRacing or World Outlaws go to. So, that's my opinion on that. We added Nashville but only because Junior had an interest in it, which I'm all for it. Don't get me wrong. I'm all for adding Nashville, but it's because Junior had a thing. And so does iRacing have Hickory on there?
No, but I think it's supposed to be coming though.
That's another track.
I think I heard Hickory's coming.
That's another track that Junior's got a backstory to. That's where he got his start was Myrtle Beach and Hickory.
I wish that the Xfinity Truck Series still went to that place.
Hickory.
Yeah.
I don't. When Dick Trickle, I think was it Dick Trickle or was it who?
Yeah.
Somebody run the truck series like oversaw it, and I can't remember who it was, but they said they wanted all the races to be on short tracks. It used to be all races on short track.
Yeah, that's back
That
when
was
it
the
was
truck
really
series.
good.
That
Yeah.
was the truck series. Yeah.
What'd you go to? You went to Evergreen. You say you went to Evergreen. You went to
Bakersfield,
Bakersfield.
Flanagan.
I ain't never heard of that track.
That's in Ohio.
Uh,
Which, well,
yeah, they went to Toledo, I think.
which I think they turned Flanagan into a dirt track.
Did they? Let's see.
It was weird shaped.
You had all kinds of tracks up. You had a track in. Was it Evergreen? Was in Portland, Oregon, right? There was a track up in Portland,
It
Oregon. I
might
can't
have
remember
been.
what. I can't remember. They had walls on the inside, outside. I remember I used to. I guess I'll say my age, but I used to play NASCAR '99.
Yeah.
That where you could paint your old cars like that, and it had all the tracks like that. And I tell you what, I had that game for the longest time, all the way up to probably 2005, 2006.
I don't.
Even
I
when the
don't mean
older
to
games
change
come
this.
out.
I don't mean to change subject, but you know how much you would pay for that game right now?
No,
An ungodly amount.
really,
Yes. Let's look it up on eBay.
NASCAR '99.
Yes, you
With
will
Jeff
pay
Burton on the
out.
cover.
You will pay outrageous for it because I wanted a copy of it
Yeah,
like last year sometime.
that's same as NASCAR 2003. You're gonna pay a fortune for that
Yeah.
because of all the mods you can do. But I remember having that game. It had Nashville on there. It had let's see, it had all the tracks that they went to. It was good. It was good racing. I think NASCAR needs to go back to its grassroots with the
It
truck series.
does for sure because that was when racing was great.
Yeah, I mean, I think truck series is probably one of the best series they got. John Hunter's probably coming in and stinking it up right now. That's another thing. It's not on my. It's not on my. Uh, you know, on my little banner thing. But what about the deal with Matt Crafton and John Hunter? Did y'all watch this truck race?
I didn't get to see that. I've just heard about it.
I wish I had a clip of it. Okay.
Crafton turned him. He did. He flat out turned him.
Crafton turned him.
Crafton turned him.
What John Hunter did after that fact was hilarious.
Oh yeah.
He went around and went like, yeah. And the radio communication, I don't know if it was Matt Crafton or Joyner, but one of them said they need to get his crew chief. Crew chief needs to get him because I'm about to, somebody was about to get him. And then John Hunter wasn't done. He was going to his trailer and he did it to Joyner.
Yeah,
because
he did it to Joyner.
because the crew chief was on top of the trailers. They was not on top of the boxes because there's no sense in them being on top of the boxes because they was only allowed to pit during stage breaks. So they would get up and go on top of the trailers and watch the races. Well, I reckon he did that to Joyner, and then Joyner said something. And I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was funny as hell. But, Martin Truex dominated that one, right? I don't know if y'all watched that, but Martin Truex ain't never run a lick of dirt. He didn't even run a prelude, when they had a prelude race, and showed that he ran dirt for years. He'd start inside, start outside, and all that. And another thing I bring in, what made them go to single file? Matt, did you know what made them go to single file?
What in the cup race?
In the cup race,
it was the visibility.
Is that what the reason was?
It was the visibility. Yeah, because the remember it got super dusty there about lap 150, and then they start double file, and it was like they got half a lap, and you couldn't see 5 feet in front of you, and then they would wreck. And so that's why they decided to go single files for safety reasons because of the dust.
Gotcha. Well, what do you think about Daniel Suarez? We talked about it before. What do you think about Daniel Suarez? leading. I think he led 50 laps. I think he led 50 laps in a stage.
He led. He finished fourth. It was like, you're kind of the guy in the closet, kind of thinking, "Geez, it'd be kind of cool if he won this race."
Sadly, I have to admit the same thing. Even though Joey Logano won the race,
Oh, God.
I secretly wanted to see Suarez win it.
That would have been pretty cool.
It would have been cool to see.
That would have been cool to see.
Yeah, I mean, it would be cool to see, but he got a little cocky at the end, right? I didn't really like that too much when he said that, he expected him to come in and do that good. I think he surprised himself, but he didn't want to admit it. Him coming in and winning that, or winning the stage and all that. But if they go from last year, right? If they go from last year, he locks himself into the clash because you won the stage. If you win a stage, you're locked into the clash for next year. So he locked himself.
They're changing that.
Yes, it's not pole runners no more. We don't have qualifying, so they have to find a way to do that.
They had a good run. I mean, they had a good run, but again, it boils down to what we had already talked about. The pavement guys seem to do better at Bristol than the dirt guys.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was just the way the track was or whatever it was, but I mean, it even boils down to Martin Truex basically taking the field and spitting them out at the truck race, pavement guy, and nobody could catch him. Now, I guarantee he had a really good truck because those guys are always good, even in Eldora. With KBM's won races at Eldora on the dirt and everything like that too. But I don't know. It seems like and we talked about this too. Even with the simulation, the iRacing simulation, they drive more like they do on pavement than they do on dirt with the setup at iRacing has for Bristol as well. So I don't know. It was just weird. It was a weird sensation with what was going on with the Cup Series and the Truck Series at Bristol.
I didn't expect to see Marler do good or the sprint car guy. I didn't expect those two to have. Yeah, I didn't expect them to do very much.
No, Mike Marler went in, and I think he got lapped in like the first.
Yeah, it was
20 laps.
Horrible.
But it surprised me that didn't really hear much of Friesen in either race.
No.
Pretty much all day.
Well, I really wanted to see his wife make that show. He
was towards the front in the Truck Series race at the start. He was kind of at the front, but it was the same thing. The track dried up, and he just kind of faded to the back.
Let's touch on this real quick because something's coming in my head we need to talk about. The rain out policy for qualifying. If you're going to qualify and it rains out qualifying, you're sending trucks home. What do you think NASCAR can do to change that? From my opinion, I think they need to have a last chance qualifier right for the feature or for the main event, because they sent 4 trucks home, and you look at the Cup Series, we ain't even got enough to fill the entry list right now. We ain't had enough to fill the entry list up since Daytona.
My issue is with the truck deal was, I can't remember how many years ago it was, but it might have been just before the charter system came in Cup. But it used to be the rainout procedure changed, and that if there was a chance there was going to be a rainout in qualifying, they would take your top practice time. And we practiced at Bristol with the trucks and the Cup cars. Yep. And you know what? It would have been like, first, if we're going to get rained out, we're taking the top 40 truck times in practice 1.
But they didn't do that because they were supposed to have heat races.
Right. But for your rainout policy, though, right?
You're supposed to take your practice speed.
Now they should take the practice times, because if they took the practice times, Jessica Friesen makes the race.
Oh, no doubt. Ryan Newman made the race.
Well, right. Exactly. It's kind of like if they're practicing, They
Did
should
Ryan
be a
Newman not racing the truck race?
No, he
no,
didn't make
didn't
it?
make it.
brand new
Didn't make
team.
it.
He couldn't. A brand new team. It was the first start with it's Means, Brad Means. He's the son of Jimmy Means.
Jimmy Means.
Yeah. No, they didn't make the show. And take it back to Jordan Anderson. With Jordan Anderson has got an Xfinity team and they ain't even got to race a race yet. Because they didn't get to qualify at Daytona. He missed the Daytona show, and he cannot. There's 40 cars showing up every week that are ahead of him in points. He can't make the show. So now he's got a fully funded car sitting in the garage, and he can't race it because guess what? No qualifying. I understand they're trying to cut costs. Even if you don't go practice, I think there still needs to be qualifying.
I can agree to that.
Yeah.
But because I'm going to be honest with you, I think it's really hurting the sport right now. And I think that's why you won't see no new teams trying to jump into sport if we're not going to have qualifying. Because all right, and I've seen it with the local shows when when my family fielded a late model. All right, let's jump in late model racing. You got 5 or 6 cars. Well, guess what? You get one. Now you got 15 to 20 showing up. Well, 6th place played pretty good. 15th don't pay that good, But now you've got, if a team jumps in and starts building their program up, that you've got to make a show. All right, Ryan Preece misses that Daytona 500. What would have happened with Ryan Preece? He probably wouldn't be that 37 car. Probably wouldn't have been in the show. They'd be sitting at home probably right now and miss the first couple of races because that Daytona 500, he missed the Daytona 500.
Yeah.
So I think we need to bring qualifying back, and we'll jump in it here with COVID restrictions easing in the U.S., not Canada, in the U.S.
Sore spot. He hit a sore spot.
Yeah, we hit a sore spot on that one. Should NASCAR bring practice back, or is that a thing of the past? With the new car coming next year, does practice come back for good or just for 1 year? Matt, what do you think? Does it come back for 1 year just to get a feel of the car and then we go back to no practice, or you think when it comes back it's here to stay?
Well, this is kind of something we've talked about before, and I think practice, should come back. I do believe practice should come back. Now, I caveat that, though, with they do not need 3 1-hour practices. They don't even need 2 1-hour practices. The 50-minute single practice session, qualifying race, good enough. They don't need any more than that. And, the other thing is that, the one reason that we don't have practice qualifying and anything like that is it's saving the teams money, because if you have qualifying or practice, they've got to prepare a backup car. Because if they don't got the backup car in the trailer, they wreck it in qualifying, they got to have something to race. So that's cutting costs by not having to have the backup car in the trailer. Now, from what I've read about this new Gen 7 car, these things basically should be that you can take any chassis, maybe minus a dirt chassis if they decide to do dirt racing, but it doesn't matter if it's for a road course or an oval. You should be able to take the same chassis and be able to relatively set it up for whatever track you're at pretty quickly. And if that's the case, and that means that they can keep a basically dedicated backup car in the trailer, then it becomes a moot point, right? We can have a 50-minute practice, we can have qualifying, and we can have a race.
All right. So you know more about the new car than I know about the new car. So does one chassis fits all? We don't have a intermediate chassis, a road course chassis, and a short track chassis. Is that what you're trying to get to?
Well, remember, the thing we got to remember, guys, is that the chassis is now a common chassis. Right? One manufacturer, it's going to be the same chassis. It doesn't matter how many times you're going to buy it. It is going to be the same chassis. The
So
bodies.
you don't have a center. You don't have a straight up road course car because the
No.
road course cars was just straight up chassis. There wasn't no left head, and then you got your cup cars. They're for the ovals. They're kind of offset.
You know, I don't think there's going to be any difference. I think the whole deal is that NASCAR is trying to go around the direction of they want to have a single chassis. The bodies are going to be composite. So that gets rid of a whole bunch of your fabrication because now your body is basically your bolt panels on. You don't have to sit there and mold them or any of that kind of stuff anymore. You know, the car itself should just be, you know what? You can put a dedicated backup in the truck, roll it off, maybe an hour's worth of prep to get the thing set up for the track that you're at, and away you go.
I mean, they've got, to me, I think it's hurting. I mean, I know a lot of fans don't show up to practice. I understand 100%. But what no practice does, it's really hurting these young guys, right? You're not going to get.
Time.
Yeah,
right?
I
It's
mean,
your
you're
seat
not.
time.
Yeah, and it's hurting. Let's face it, Kyle Busch. It's killing him because he's used to setting the car up. Give me 20 minutes of practice, and I'm gonna tell you something. I think you give Kyle Busch 20 minutes in practice, he's back to winning races.
Oh, I think so. I know he's getting more whiny every time I see him. It's like, gee whiz. It's like, you know, and I think that's exactly it, is because, you know, and we got to give him credit too. He's got a brand new crew chief this year, right?
Yep.
Well, that
he's worked with him before.
time,
he's worked with him before,
but that practice time is invaluable when you have a new crew chief.
Yeah.
To have that 15-minute session to be able to go and talk to him and say, hey, the car's doing this, it's doing that. All right, well, let's throw a different spring in it and see what it does, right?
Right.
You know, you're not changing the spring on the, you know, on pit road. You're not putting a different spring in the car.
Right. Yeah, I think that if they don't bring practice back, I think that go to heat races. Do something like
that.
I mean, do something like, I mean, because I don't see me going to a track 10 hours away just to watch a feature, just one race or two races, right?
Yeah.
You go for the fan experience. You're not going to come down from Canada and go to Las Vegas if they're just having Cup and Xfinity, you know, because that's too far for you to drive. You're going for the whole fan experience, coming down, camping, you know, and stuff like that. I think that I think what will happen is, and not throwing NASCAR under the bus, but I think NASCAR is letting the drivers kind of dictate what they want, and these drivers are wanting to come in and fly in, strap in, race for 3 hours, get back on a plane, fly back home. One day.
I look at that as more family time, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's something I've heard.
I understand that completely, and I'm not saying bring back the 3 to 4 day shows. I'm talking about bring back, you know, they could fly in at Saturday at noon and leave at Sunday night.
But you know what? Vegas is a bad example, and I'm going to give you the reason that Vegas is a bad example. Vegas has a dirt track on property. Vegas has the bull ring on property. Vegas has a drag strip on property. You know what? If I was going down there, and yes, okay, Cup race is Sunday only, right? Okay, it is what it is. But Saturday, it's Xfinity. But you know what? Saturday night, why aren't you running the dirt track? Even if it's just the local guys, why don't you run the dirt track? Why don't you run the bull ring? You know, there's other things on that property that they can do. Now, granted, there's some tracks that don't have those extra facilities and stuff like that. But tracks that have that facilities, you know, Charlotte is one. I think Texas might have they have, I think, one or two other tracks on property.
There's a dirt track in Texas.
Right? There's other tracks on property. If there's other tracks on property, as far as I'm concerned, they can run the other tracks to fill in the hole for the fan experience. And those tracks, a single day show, I think would work. Martinsville, well, you might be able to run some other series and stuff like that. New Hampshire, I don't know. Right? That's kind of one of those tracks where it's like, well, what else do you do? Pocono, another example. What else do you do?
Now, if Aiden's still in here listening and watching, I believe they just built a dirt track there
At
at
New
New Hampshire.
Hampshire.
Yeah,
See,
I want to say they ran it the last time. Well, I don't know if it was last year or year before last, but they had the Legends cars and
yeah. If
something
there's
else.
other things to do, and there's other tracks on property and things for the fans to do, a single day show is doable because you can give the fan the experience because you can run other facilities at the same time, right? Now, this is all hinging on the fact that, now down in the States, the COVID restrictions are completely different than they are here. We just went into our third lockdown. We went into number 3 yesterday.
Well, we're gonna bring in next guest, Mason Mingus, pro late model driver, here out of living in Kentucky now, but he's gonna be racing at Nashville. Bring him in. How's it going, Mason?
Good. How are you guys?
Pretty good, man. Talk to us a little bit, man, about you knew. Well, I wouldn't really call it new ride. You run a couple races with it last year. Tell us a little bit about what you got coming up this year.
Yeah, I'm running for Mike Alexander, and we ran a couple races with him last year at the fairgrounds. And then I ran a race or two with him quite a few years ago, back in about 2012, I believe it was. But we've kind of teamed up this year to run the full season in Nashville and run for points, and then we're gonna maybe just hit a couple races here and there. We haven't really pinned them down yet. We may go to Salem, Indiana, here in a couple weeks and run with CRA there. We're just kind of picking and choosing what we want to do. Our main focus will be running all the races at Nashville if we can, but just kind of enjoying it and having fun with it.
You took a little break from racing. What got you back behind the wheel?
Yeah, I got pretty busy here at work and kind of stepped away from it there for a little while. And then kind of got the call to go run the All-American there, I guess 2 years ago now. And obviously we had a good run and won the race, and that kind of got the itch going a little bit, I guess, if you will. So, Mike called me last year. We've been, him and my dad have been friends for a long time, and we've known him for years. And said he'd been kind of tinkering around with the car, and he had been testing it down in Pensacola and Nashville a little bit, and didn't know if I wanted to come and run some races for him last year. So we were able to put a couple races together and had a pretty good race car. I mean, we got better every week. We went to the racetrack and led pretty much the whole race. The last one we were down there and got tangled up on a last minute restart, but was extremely happy with him and with the car, and we worked together pretty well. So we kind of put it together for this year.
Explain a little bit. Coming out of, I wouldn't really call it retirement. I come back from taking a break. Running All-American and winning that. I mean, did you expect to win it for going into that race?
Yeah, it was a last minute deal, and we put it together and went down and ran. And obviously, Nashville is an awesome racetrack for me to run at. We have a lot of family down there. I'm grew up in Nashville, now live back in Kentucky, but it was pretty neat to throw that thing together. And then we felt like we had a good race car all weekend, and maybe not a winning race car, but top 5 race car kind of is what we felt like we had all weekend. And then race came, and it's 400 laps, and you never know what's going to happen in 400 laps. We just sat there and bided our time and kind of played our own strategy, and it worked out there at the end. But that was a really cool deal to go run and to be able to win. I've run a lot of races at Nashville. Started out there on the quarter mile running mini cups and baby grands. So I've been around that racetrack forever, and to get the win in the actual All-American 400 was really cool.
So where's that trophy at right now?
It's hanging on the wall at my house.
So that's got to be your most prestigious trophy, I do believe, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Now I don't know if it's back 2019. Did you take tires, and that's what got you to win that race? Was that the winning move on that one?
We had tires late, and it definitely, it helped us because we stretched a set of tires there in the middle of the race and went a lap down, got the lucky dog, and had a set laying there at the end. But a couple other people did too. It was kind of a late race deal with drawing a blank now, but Casey Roderick, he
Yeah.
kind of got it tangled up there at the front. He was multiple laps down, and why everybody was racing with him, I don't really know. But we let him race with him, and we had tires and got a good restart, and took the lead, and he was racing with second and third place hard, and let us get a little distance on everybody. And then when he was fast, he got to us, and we just let him go. He was multiple laps down. There's really no point, and I don't know why everybody was racing with him. I don't know why he was doing what he was doing either, but it all kind of played in our favor, and to be honest.
Yeah, I remember I was at that race and I was going to leave, but I decided to stick around. I always want to try to beat the traffic. But yeah, I remember Casey doing that move, and Chandler was the one winning. I think Chandler Smith was the one winning,
Yep.
and I don't know. I mean, I say Casey probably had one of the better cars, but he got a lap down somehow, and I don't know if he was taking his frustration out. And but I think he still has lost a lot of respect to the guys doing that race and stuff. But so you plan to run Nashville? So you're planning to hit some other tracks as well besides Nashville? Is that y'all's plan?
Yeah, we're kind of just taking it as we go. We're definitely, I think, going to go run, as long as everything goes well at the first race down there next weekend. We're going to go to Salem the following weekend and go run there. That's all we have planned right now. If the year goes good, I'm sure we'll run a couple more. It would be cool to go down to the Snowflake at the end of the year or something like that. But we're going to take it as it comes.
Oh, man, I appreciate you coming on. I mean, tell us anybody you want to thank.
Yeah, we've actually, we've put together a couple deals here. Last minute, we kind of threw it on everybody, but United Rentals and Diamond Equipment and Bass Tire have come on board, and Tennessee 811 to kind of help us out. A bunch of local companies that are in Nashville there and jumped on board, and so we're happy to have them for the whole season there at Nashville.
811's been with you for a long time, ain't they?
Yeah, absolutely. So they've been with me since I first started racing quarter midgets. It's been a really good partnership with them, and especially Tennessee 811. Out of all of them, they've done a lot for us.
Well, man, appreciate you coming on. Good luck for you next weekend. I tell you what, Nashville's probably got by far the stoutest competition. So even to win one race out of the 8 or 9 races they do is going to be a challenging thing. But man, I'm sure Mike Alexander's going to give you the car to do it. And good luck this season.
Thank you. Appreciate you for having me on.
Thank you.
Good luck,
Thanks
man.
for coming.
As Mason Mingus, always talented driver, run very well everywhere he goes and stuff. But we'll jump back in it, wrap it up.
Willie, that sounds like you're going to have some pretty good racers down there at Nashville this year in the
Man, I'll
Supers.
tell you what, I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
And we'll probably preview it next week's show, of the guys and stuff. I think they have a media day this week. I'd like to go down and see actually what the competition is going to really look like. But you've got Cole Williams in the mix. You're going to have Hunter Wright. You're going to have Mason Mingus. You got Michael House in the mix. You got the kid that's running with Cole Williams, Jordan. I'm trying to get him on. He's a 15-year-old kid out of Indiana that really turned some heads when he ran the new CRA series, the junior late models. It was specifically for kids. I think they had some 12-year-olds, some 15-year-olds, 14-year-olds. No adults was running this class. It was just juniors. And they called it the junior late models. It was full-body cars. He had like 2 wins in that and stuff. But, I mean, you got Sterling Marlin that's going to run down there, Sterling Marlin's grandson and stuff. They average probably 20 to 25 pro late models. But only thing with Nashville, you got David Coble. It's a hard track to pass at. And, we've run Nashville on iRacing, right? Mm-hmm. And the iRacing version and the real version is 2 different things, right? It's totally different. That track is very aero dependent, but it's going to be. I think it's going to be a good year for the pro late models down there and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I look forward to it. I mean, I think it's It's one of the best tracks I think in America.
You guys got a lot of good talent. I mean that's like like to have that kind of talent running at that track, on a regular series deal.
Right.
I mean, wow. I mean, that's awesome. It really is. I mean, that's absolutely awesome.
I love it. I mean, I try to go down there as much as I can. Of course, work kind of keeps me tied up, but I try to go down there as much as I can. Always some good racing on the quarter miles. The quarter mile have 5 divisions. Then they have 2 divisions on the big track.
How often do they run the little track down there?
Every time they open the doors. It's probably they run like 9 shows a year. We talked about last time. NASCAR's trying to come in. They worked a deal out. They're trying to get it finalized to renovate that track. The fear that I keep hearing from the drivers is that quarter mile track will not be existent if they do that. That's what I'm hearing. If they do that, sorry NASCAR, don't need to try. Because that provides some really good racing. I really like what racing NASCAR has. Nashville has as a track. It's a lot. It's still got the historic features, right? I mean, it's still got the grandstands from when NASCAR ran. The infield still the same. There still needs to be some upgrades and stuff. But Speed 51 did sign a contract, so I might be able to hook you up with a link for you to watch that. So the Nashville Fairgrounds.
Yeah.
So
well, it sounds like it's going to be some awesome racing to watch. So anybody that's watching us, I think you're going to get your money's worth out of any tickets you go to Nashville this year.
It's $10.
You're going to get your money's worth, boy.
Oh yeah, it's $10 to get in. Of course, you got the SRX coming in. The Superstar Extreme Experience, the Ray Abraham deal.
Superstar Racing Experience.
Yes, they're coming in for their championship race. That's going to be where the championship race is going to be at. Then you also have CRA. What he was talking about, the CRA series, they're coming in for 2 shows. I think the first show is going to be the Master of the Pros. That's basically their crown. That's their crown jewel. 150 lap pro late model race. That's their crown jewel. Besides the end of the year All America 400 and stuff. But yeah, I mean, that's a great track to run. It's a great track to go watch. It's about a 45-minute drive for me. So, I mean, I like going there. Hopefully I get to watch every race. If not, I'm going to watch it on TV and stuff. But, I meant to ask you, what tracks do y'all have up there in Canada that's around there?
Not nearly the kind of stuff that you guys got.
Well, I mean, we understand. I mean, you live in a hockey town. I mean, in a hockey country.
Yeah. Up here, you basically I've got a Jeff Gordon shirt on up here, right now, for the podcast and everything like that. I walk around up here and people ask me, who the heck is Jeff Gordon? That's kind of what it's like up here. My local track is a track that's on the Edmonton International Airport property, actually, and it's a 3/8 clay oval. And then they've also got a quarter-mile drag strip and a 2.4 kilometer road course, I think it is. The facility has.
The dirt one grounds.
It's all on one grounds. It's all on one grounds because it's on the airport property. The dirt track, I used to race there. I mean, I raced there for 5 years myself in we called it Econo stock, which is basically that's your entry level. Basically, take it out of the junkyard, throw a roll cage in it, and go race. And then I also raced what they called was a super stock, which is basically a GM metric chassis up to the rear axle, and then you could have a tube rear clip on it.
Y'all have a lot of sprint car classes up there, right?
We used to. We don't have as many as we used to. Our main class up here, the fastest we got was 360 sprints. 360 wing sprints was our big class up here, and now up here we only have about 9 360 sprints that run at our regular track. We've got a sportsman sprint class that we get about 20 cars that'll run. Basically, they look just like the 360s, except they're running a much lower horsepower motor. There's mini sprints. We've got legends. We've got the super stocks. They've got I can't even remember what the heck. I think it's like a Hornet. If you guys saw the Bristol Dirt Race, right? Like a Hornet type class. They've got that up here now. But unfortunately, just in the last 5 or 6 years, the support for the dirt oval side of things has really kind of done this. And it was because of the track promoter really wasn't putting anything into it. Like he's kind of let the facility run down, especially on the dirt oval side.
Is
So
climate change catching up faster up there than it is down here?
I don't know. I mean, the hard part for us, for where I live, guys, is that basically we can't start till the second week of May. That's usually opening day is the second week of May.
Because of weather?
And because of weather. And we have to shut down usually the second week of September.
Because of weather.
Because of weather. So we've got a very short race season. There is a pavement track in a town called Wetaskiwin in Alberta that's near me. It's I think it's a 3/8, but no, but it's either a quarter or a 3/8. I can't remember. It's paved, and the NASCAR Pinty Series has run there.
Yep.
So we've had races there. Those guys, when they came out there, they always put on a real good show. When they were there, usually they'd have a 300 lapper on it. So but that's literally, it is a NASCAR home track. Edmonton International Raceway is a NASCAR home track, but that's the closest NASCAR track to me. And even that track for me is still an hour and a half away from where I live.
Right. Well, I mean, hopefully you get to see some racing this year.
Well, I hope so, but with the restrictions going back into place, last year I think it was July or August, they finally allowed us to have 200 people in the stands.
That's basically all your pit people, right?
Well, the pit people were allowed in, but then they could have 200 spectators in the main grandstands. And that was it. You couldn't have more than that. So this year, from what I understand, because now we've done this third lockdown, there's a good chance that they won't even allow any spectators this year.
The new strain, right? The new virus strain.
Yeah. So it's hard. It's hard for us up here with our racing community up here in Alberta is looks like 2021 is going to be another tough year, unfortunately, and hopefully we can get this thing dealt with and get more opened up like you guys are down there, and hopefully 2022 will be more of a recovery year and we can get back to a little bit more normalcy, because I mean I miss going to the track. I enjoy going to the track, and it's a little more difficult for me to get to the track nowadays because like our admission for a regular night show is $20. So
regular admission
is $20.
Lord.
Now wait a second. Now roll that back to American dollars. How much is that in American dollars? Like 15?
Probably about 15, yeah.
Jeez.
Yep. Oh yeah, guys, it's up here. It's a different ball game when it comes to how racing and stuff like that. I mean, I wish they could do $10 admission tickets because they pack the grandstands like they did 15 years ago. I mean, I can remember when I was a kid back in the 90s. The track opened in 1991. I think it was when they first opened the dirt oval, and admission I think was $8 or $9 or something for an adult back then, but they'd pack the stands every night, and that was like 3,000 people, and they'd pack it. We'd have 20 to 25 360 sprint cars on a regular night show. Like it was awesome, and it's just over the years it's just petered out. So it's kind of hard, but I hate to say it, but when you got to charge $20 for an adult to get in, I mean, my family, it's my wife, my daughter, and myself, the three of us to get into the track would be about almost $50 for the three of us for the night just to get in, not including concession. And oh, by the way, that hamburger is $8 at the concession.
Son,
Wow.
they're murdering y'all.
It's tough. It's tough.
I'll tell you right now.
You know, guys, I can be perfectly honest with you because I think about when my wife and I went to the Southern 500. We went in 2013 and we went in 2015. We went to the races both times, okay? We got the 3-day or the full weekend package, and I think it was Xfinity and Cup. We got the best seats in the place, and it cost us $99 each for those tickets. That was for Xfinity and Cup.
Who'd you steal them from?
It was a heck of a deal. It was like $99 for each seat.
Well, I can tell you.
So then we
Yeah,
go to the track, right? Concession prices, it was like $2.50 for a hamburger. And I looked at my wife and I said, hell, I said, it's costing us almost as much to go to the Cup race as it does to go to our local night show.
Yeah.
You won't find them kind of prices in Talladega, I can promise you.
No. Now, let's
is Darlington
rewind.
owned by NASCAR or is it owned by Bruton Smith?
It's owned by NASCAR, but go back. I've gone to Vegas a few times, right? And I went to Vegas and I think it was 07, 08, and 09. I went 3 years in a row. Now, I got good tickets there too, but they weren't the best tickets. And each ticket was $275.
God. At Vegas?
At Vegas.
Man.
Vegas is expensive.
I want to go to the big Nashville track for the Cup race. I've not looked up tickets, but I heard tickets are $100 plus for just a Cup race. Just a Cup race. Okay. Yep. Martinsville. I've got tickets for the November race. For my ticket, Xfinity ticket for the Cup and Xfinity, for myself and my little 5-year-old, $110 for both races.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now it's costing me $600 to go to the 500, but I get the duels. I get the duels. I get the truck race. I get the Cup race and the Xfinity race.
Yeah.
And stuff. But their concessions is absurd, right? It's absurd.
I don't know now.
$8.50 for a hamburger. I think it was it's like $14 for a combo with a drink, fries, and a hamburger. I'm like, ugh.
All right, I'll make you guys sick here in a second. Okay, I've been to a few Edmonton Oiler NHL hockey games. Okay, how much do you think a beer is at the NHL hockey game?
$8.
$12.
Michael, $12 for a single beer. Now, the other thing is they just opened up a new arena here about 5 years ago. Now, I haven't been to the new arena for an Oilers game. I've been to an Oil Kings game, which is a double A team.
Somehow.
The gold level ticket for a single hockey game, one hockey game, $299.
Wait a minute. For a ticket?
For a ticket for one hockey game, if you want the best seat in the house at Rogers Place in Edmonton, $299.
Actually, I would say that's
pretty fair. It's pretty fair. Because, say if I wanted to go to Tennessee Titans game down in Nashville and I wanted to go see, first of all, the pandemic tickets was $1,100 to $1,500 a ticket. Any stadium you want to go to besides Jacksonville or say the Jets or somebody like that, tickets was pretty,
Oh yeah.
They was high because pandemic. I tried to sell my 500 ticket and couldn't sell it because there were so many scams going on.
Yeah.
I'm on a NASCAR ticket site on Facebook, and I know the guy. We talk back and forth. He said he's had to kick so many people out because people are using the pandemic to scam people.
Yeah.
People was trying to sell, NASCAR Cup tickets for like $700 for one cup for NASCAR Dirt.
Yeah.
I sold 4 of my truck tickets for $100. 4 of them truck tickets.
Yeah. Well, It's hard because I mean a hockey game for me, a hockey game is a 2-hour, 2.5 hour event, and I cannot justify spending
break it down in minutes. I mean,
minutes.
yeah,
Well, it's three 20-minute periods, right?
right. But like you said, was it two?
$300 for $300 for a ticket, single ticket for the hockey game.
So it's a 2.5 hours, right?
Yeah.
So
well, it's $1 a minute.
Yeah.
You know, but that I find myself like I would never spend that kind of money to go to a hockey game.
No.
I'd spend $2.99 if it was a full meal deal race like Vegas where I got the full package. I'll spend $299 on that all day. But I ain't spending $299 on a hockey game. Sorry, ain't happening. I mean, the nosebleed tickets are friggin' like $150.
All right, I want to ask you a question. We'll leave it on sports. You think that they'll have Stanley Cup this year with the way Canada's restrictions are?
Well, I think they're going to do the bubble again. Is what I think is going to happen. There's going to be a bubble. I don't know what town or where they're going to put it. I don't even know if I don't think the bubble is going to be in Canada this year. To be honest with you,
I don't think
they've got one hockey team right now, the Vancouver Canucks, that got the Brazilian strain into the team.
Oof.
They're not even sure that the Canucks are going to finish the season.
And they're pretty good.
No. They're not having a good year.
Oh.
But
right.
you know, it just the COVID thing for in Canada right now versus what it is for you guys in the States, it's night and day difference.
Well,
I mean,
I don't think it's night and day difference. I just think the tolerance is night and day difference.
Yes,
right?
Very much so. Yep.
I think that we've got a lot of politics going on here, especially in my state. In Kentucky, it's politics like crazy. My opinion is, and I really didn't want to bring it in, but I'm going to tell it anyway. If you want to wear a mask, wear it. If you don't want to wear a mask, don't wear it. That should be the right on everybody. You know, if you want to get vaccinated, get vaccinated. If you don't want to get vaccinated, don't get vaccinated.
Yep. No, I agree with that.
But you know, we have two states that border us, Indiana, Tennessee, that's lifted their masking mandates. Tennessee is going farther than that. They're telling schools it's your choice. If you want to allow your students to take their mask off, let them take them off. If you want them to keep the mask on, it's your choice.
Yeah.
We're in the ballpark of Canada's restrictions. We're tightening everything back kind of up. Where positivity rate's 2.8, we're tightening things back up. But you know, you're in a game of politics where you got a Democratic governor and you got a legislator that is Republican. So they're butting heads. They're basically spending so much money on lawsuits. It's unbelievable, taxpayer money on lawsuits. I wish that they could make that public for the public to actually see how much money they spend on lawsuits, on attorney fees, going back and forth. But like I said, I don't want to get into politics. No. I just want this thing.
This isn't a politics show.
No, I want this thing to end so we can all see racing because I want us
exactly.
I want us three to go see a race together and stuff. You know, we just got we got to get Canada on board. But I went visit Florence Speedway, half-mile dirt track. Give my little thoughts on that. I'm going to start trying to do that. I'm going to try to go visit a track that I've never been to. Right. There's a couple tracks I want to go see this year that I've never been to, and kind of give my insight on it. I want to bring the vision for. I know we ain't got very many people watching, but the vision of what I want is once things start opening up, Mike will cover his area. Matt covers what area he can cover, and then I cover the area that I cover, and we all give weekly recaps on what we saw, what drivers, and stuff, and we can try to get a variety. I'm hoping that we can get a couple more guys that is out west, some out east, that can do the same thing. We cover the whole United States, you know, just here and there on different racetracks, different breeds, because you got big blocks in the Northeast. We don't have big blocks around here. They won't, you know. Of course, up there you got sprint cars. We don't have sprint cars. IMCA is totally different than UMP. So we kind of see both worlds. I went and visited this track. Went to the zoo Sunday. I told wife, I said I want to go see Florence Speedways. So we went to Florence Speedway. It's a half-mile dirt track. It's not clay. It's some kind of other dirt. I don't know what kind of dirt it is. I'm not a scientist on that. But half-mile dirt and slower class cars does not mix. That's my opinion. Um, the night I went, it was dollar beer night. So,
Ooh, that sounds like my night.
well, I can tell you right now, they was people walking around with bags with ice in them and had about 4 or 5 beers.
That would be me.
But in all honesty, that track is fast when it has a car that has a motor in it. I like to go up there for the North-South 100 because I think that track puts on a good event if it has fast cars. But watching a front-wheel drive try to dive or in the bottom and straight as a whistle and try to run the bottom is just not fun to me, right? I like, if I go to a dirt track, I want to see you slinging some rooster tails. That track did not produce that because they was so slow on the bottom, and then they had a guy trying to run the top and stuff. But that was my track and stuff. Michael, you want to recap Batesville this last Friday?
Yeah, got to see the IMCA stock cars for the first time in person, and did not disappoint. I really regret not ever building one. I know I said it when Mooney Star said there was going to be a 50,000 win race. What did I say? I'm building a car. I'm going to run that race. Did I not?
Yep.
Unfortunately,
Yes,
I
you
did
did.
not build a car. And I did a lot of soul searching over the weekend, and just, man, it's depressing that I did not build an IMCA stock car. But only had 7 cars show up, and they had the best race. There was 3 and 4 wide races with them. And then we had our normal IMCA modifieds. We had 10 of those, and the legend Wayne Brooks picked up the win. It's always kind of cool to see him get back in victory lane, being a Hall of Fame racer. And then we had our front wheel drives, and I think you would really enjoy watching our front wheel drives race, even though Batesville's a big track. These guys aren't afraid of nothing.
Are y'all 3/8 mile?
3/8 mile.
Yeah, that's a lot smaller than a half mile. So
And these guys, I don't think they ever lift going in the corner. I mean, they'll lean on each other. They'll flat out turn somebody for a win for $100 bill.
for $100,
I think that's what they race for, is $100 each night. It ain't
Lord.
much. And then our cruisers, we only had 2 cruisers. We did have 3, and one of them broke. But that's a fun class if it'll ever grow back to what it used to be. And then our hobbies, which is our Camaro class, man, they put on a great show as well. There's a young lady that races in that series she's a wheel. She can wheel it. But she got caught up in a wreck, finished last. But it's got a lot of young kids in that class. Like I told you earlier, I'd like to get some of those guys on here.
Absolutely.
Let them talk. And was hoping to get Ashton Wilkie on tonight, but man, that's a busy young man, and he's got a lot going on this year, from what I hear. So maybe we'll be able to get him on the show here pretty soon. Let him talk about his plans this season.
So your vote for the IMCA stock cars needing to be on iRacing is still a big definite yes,
man,
Michael?
it's definitely the man.
Now, I saw on the rumor mill that they was scanning one. I don't know if that was true or not, but I thought they was scanning one.
I hope so, boy. I'm gonna tell y'all something. Seeing it on TV does not do it justice how badass those cars are. I mean,
I
never
want to try to
thought I
make
would
it.
see stock cars at Batesville go 4 wide into turn 1, and all lifting the left front up as they're going
So,
to the corner.
how many with 50,000 to win? How many stock cars do you see coming to the 50,000?
Over 100.
Over 100,
I
easy.
see. I see the whole state of Iowa moving down here for one day or a week.
Is it a week? Is it a week
Well,
long?
it's 3 days.
So are they gonna? Well, hopefully they broadcast it. I'd like to see
Oh
it.
yeah, it's gonna be on
it'll be
IMC
on-
TV,
Yeah, no, it's XR.
XR.
XR will have it. No, I might have to pick up the month subscription for that month.
But
Uh.
if I'd have known this weekend was also the topless modified race down at I-30, I might have tried to get down there to watch that. I'd seen some highlights from Peyton Taylor. Man, that looked like a pretty fun race to watch.
So what's on tap for you, Michael, this weekend? What are you just going to Batesville this weekend?
Hopefully get to go to Batesville, but it's looking like everybody might get rained out this weekend.
Yeah, I'm debating. I was going to go to Thunder Hill, which is a new track that I ain't never been to, but I've got to take 3 kiddos to Dave & Buster's, so in Louisville. So I think they might tag along. We might go see some a racetrack that I've been to quite a bit. It's up in Jeffersonville, Indiana. They run a bunch of figure eight races, and they like that. I tell you what, Michael, and I think it's coming to a track near you, Crown Vic class. That class is really taking off around here. I don't know how many they actually had, but I know last year, their opening day, they had 84 Crown Vics.
Was that at a dirt track?
No, it's an asphalt track. They run them out on a dirt track, but they had 84 Crown Vics.
So we don't have any asphalt tracks here anymore.
Well, they run them on dirt tracks. They run them on dirt tracks too. I honestly believe a lot of these tracks need to get smart and put their thinking caps on. And because eventually you're going to run out of Crown Vics, right? Because they're old cop cars, taxi cabs, stuff like that. But if they're the Crown Vic within 100 miles, son, it's bought for a race car.
Well, we've got one in our cruiser class.
Well, this here is nothing but Crown Vics. And they run them on the oval, and then they run them on the figure eight. And watching about 20 to 25 cars on the figure eight, son, it gets hairy. I'm gonna go to this week if they have it, because it's 75 cents night. 75 cents to get in.
Oh, I wish.
That's where you're going?
Yep, Jeffersonville, Indiana.
Well, heck, I would say if it was close, I might have to try to tag along.
Yeah.
Only if it's $1 beer night.
No. Florence was the only one. Hey, be honest with you. Hey, no lie. $1 beer, $1 hot dogs, $1 cheeseburgers, $1 soft pretzels, but they charge $4.50 for a Coke.
Damn.
Not bashing nobody. I'm
Did
not
you get a
bashing.
refill with that?
No, it's a bottle. It was $3.50 or $4.50. They had a bunch of lists. You could get a water for $1 or a Gatorade for $1. Right? Well,
At least the beer wasn't the cheapest thing you could buy then to drink.
Well, the Gatorade you can get for under $1 at the store. The beer, I don't know if I guess you can get a beer for $1, 12-ounce can, I guess, at the store. But
You guys don't want to know how much a 12-pack costs up here.
shoot it.
Just make it your own. I mean,
You want to know how much a 12-pack could be up here?
cheaper to make it.
How much is it?
Depends. If you want a cheap beer, you're probably looking at $12. If you want like a Coors or something like that, you're probably looking at $24, $25 for a 12-pack.
God almighty.
That's about what it costs for a 30-pack here.
Uh-huh. A 30 pack here is $60.
What?
Hey,
Woo!
look, we know Michael is never moving to Canada.
No, there's no danger of that happening.
No, A, because it's cold. B, because we can't afford to live up here.
We forgot to do this, but Martinsville preview picks. Let's see,
Well,
we'll let Matt go
finished
first
last.
because he was last, and we let him have a slide, and he'll have to wear something next week.
I don't know. I might just have to like put a picture or something here because
Put a
trying to
picture.
get some.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Martinsville. Well,
You
if you're
cannot
looking
use
for
Christopher Bell no more. I'm gonna start writing these down. You cannot use the same driver no more. One driver, that's it. One driver, that's it. You can't use it.
Oh, so
well,
we're
I
doing
had
it like Norfolk
I had
Sinclair,
I
huh?
had I
Yeah.
had Larson.
Do we
I
get
had
our
Larson,
drivers
so that's
back
why
during the chase?
Yeah, well, you get drivers back in
Okay.
chase.
I
One
had
driver.
Larson. I had Larson for Bristol Dirt, and that kind of Bell
I thought
screwed
you
me
had
on that one.
Bell.
No, I had Larson.
Okay.
I had Larson. Now
I had Reddick. We did pretty good.
pick to win.
Well, you ain't got to pick to win. I mean, you just got to pick to finish up front.
Who's going to finish up front? Damn. Chase Elliott, probably.
Chase Elliott. Who you going with,
I'm
Penske?
gonna go with Denny Hamlin this week.
Danny Hamlin. I like the idea. That's probably my choice on that one. You know what?
I'm just tired of being punished.
He's been on fire. He's been on fire here lately. Let's go with Martin Truex Jr.
See, that was going to be. I was debating about that one, but I'm kind of like, I ain't Chase's due.
I didn't want to burn my Brad K pick yet.
Last time Brad K right up front, he led 466 laps. And I'm gonna tell you something right now. If they ever have a race like that again, boy, and burn the track down. That's stupid. Ain't no way one driver needs to lead 466 laps, right?
I should have had that Penske power.
Oh my God!
You don't need Penske power at Martinsville. Come on, it's Martinsville.
No, you don't need Penske power. All right. So he's got. So you got Denny Hamlin.
Yeah.
Chase Elliott. I got Truex. Somebody need to keep track of that because I ain't losing. And so.
Well, my fantasy team tanked. That was my problem, and that's why I ended up in the bottom of the totem pole because my fantasy team went this last.
Yeah, Stephen Greger beat me and Jeremy Klein by 1 point last week. Congrats to Stephen. We're not going to give away weekly prizes on that one. Our next prize will be Coke 600. Is that the next crown jewel?
Yes, sir.
So May will be our next crown jewel. We'll
Memorial Day weekend, boys.
Memorial Day weekend will be our next crown jewel and stuff. Michael, you want to wrap up with iRacing? What's happening with the big blocks?
We got 5 races left. This week will be at Fairbury, and we should run the rest of the way out. Drop weeks are fixing to start falling in place for these guys. I don't see it really getting shook up a whole lot.
I got a question.
This is painful to listen to.
I got a question. Because Matt can't run, can I sub for Matt to keep him in the points?
Unfortunately, no.
No.
However, he can get provisional points. I mean, look, I think you can get provisional points up until actually you can get. Yeah, you got 3 races you can use provisional, and then you'll have.
Look here, boss. Hang on, wait a second. Hold up. If he starts the race and I just fill in, what's wrong with that?
I mean, as long as I don't know you're filling in for him, I guess.
Man, it's bad. It's a bad break. You had to do it.
Yeah.
What's the plan on Tuesday night? Have you figured out what's on Tuesday night?
Tuesday nights are still kind of. I don't know yet. I mean, I'm testing this Hornet series. We had a test 2 weeks ago at Bristol. I think there's still something missing in that setup, but I did last night go to Lima Land with it to try it out, and it's almost raceable, but not just yet. It won't turn as well as I want it to. It didn't turn as good as it did at Bristol.
I have to
Bristol,
go ahead.
Bristol, it's all right. I mean, it's real racy. I just think it's lacking something. I just got to find what it's lacking and fine tune that, and I think it'll be a great deal to have. And then we may have a little 5 week series with it, just for fun.
I
Eh,
missed iRacing. Did they come out with an April Fool's joke this year?
I have no idea. I don't
I
pay
didn't
much
see
attention.
anything that I know
I,
of, but
I always look for that every year because see that one year they released Dirt, said it was April Fool's, and then everybody thought it was a joke, and they actually come out with Dirt. So I thought they, maybe released something, say they was
well,
hinting to something, and it was actually true, but I didn't see nothing.
all I'm hoping with the big blocks, boys, is that I can at least make the final race. That's kind of what I'm hoping I can at least get into the final race at Bristol. That's kind of I'd like to make that race. So I'm hoping by then. I supposedly after Monday I got 4 weeks left before the cast comes off. So
When do you start therapy?
they're not even going to start therapy probably until the cast comes off, from what I've been told.
Okay.
So
So you're gonna be walking around with that cane for a little bit.
yeah, see, guys, life is not grand even at 38.
I didn't know you was that young. I thought you was older.
No.
He's around my age. I'll be dang.
But no, yeah, I mean, I want to get back into iRacing, so hopefully this little work issue gets
Well,
out of the way.
and there will be a Friday night series starting up here again. Probably when I get my foot back fixed. Michael's handed me the reins for a Friday night series, so
Yep.
there's going to be a Friday night series. I'm thinking it's probably going to be very similar. Could be Street Stock Wars 2.0.
Oh,
Um,
speaking of street stocks, once the big blocks are done, there will be a big thing coming.
Uh-oh.
It will be the street stocks. I can tell you that.
Elaborate a little bit. Let's go.
That's all I can elaborate on. There's no other details.
yeah.
It's gonna be big.
So there's going to be something on Friday nights too. I just haven't decided if it's going to be Street Stocks. I'm thinking about maybe pulling the Arca car out for a little bit of fun on Friday nights. And it'll be the same kind of a deal where it's going to be like Street Stock Wars, but it'll be 2.0, might be with a little bit faster car. Something with the new damage model once they get it fixed.
Yeah, they ain't got it fixed yet.
Not yet. Well, they got it fixed for the Street Stocks, the last update.
Okay.
So,
All right.
but
I look forward to that. I mean, it's stuff, but guys.
well, I gotta have something to wreck Bush with. Sorry, I gotta have a series that I can wreck Bush and not get reprimanded for it. Just has to happen.
I mean, you could have took him out all you wanted to in the big blocks. I would have. I didn't see it happen.
Oops, that was
That
your
part of
outside
the-
voice.
That part of
Damn.
the replay's missing. No, I'm only kidding, Bush.
He probably ain't in there. He's probably running Jeep.
Yeah.
But no, guys, it was fun. Enjoyed it. We're gonna have to get some. We're gonna get some dirt guys on here. Talk a little bit. Racing season is here, and I'm not talking about NASCAR season. Short track season is here. So this show will be what I'm gonna try to. We'll try to get a lot more short track stuff going on here. We talk a lot about NASCAR here, but guess what? That's the only thing running right now. But now short track is fired up. So we're going to start covering a lot more short tracks. If you know anybody that wants to come on as a partner, get with one of us three. We'll give you as much exposure as we can do. Also, if you know anybody that wants to come on and gain a little exposure to themselves, send us a message. Anything, we'll look at bringing guys on to give more exposure to sponsors and stuff. Y'all got anything else?
No, I'm good, Willie.
Unfortunately, guys, we ran out of time this week, but we will get to the college bracket Willie disaster next week.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, yeah. I have to work. I have to do a Joey
We'll, we'll,
Logano point scheme.
we will get to that and detail it in full and announce who the winner was of the bracket and everything. And
Yep, we will
we'll
do
get to
that.
that. We will get that. We just ran out of time this week, guys, but we will get to it next week for sure.
All right, guys. Appreciate you, and we'll see you next week, Wednesday at 7. See y'all.
Yeah. See you guys.